To help address economic issues, specifically bringing jobs to Kansas, I think it's first important that we take a look at our industries that we currently have strengths in. We know aviation and manufacturing, but there's also huge potential for technology development, alternative energies and alternative fuels, and even looking at our young people and where their interests lie for future career development. I also think that if we're going to build a growing economy that's going to be sustainable, we need to make sure that we educate not only our young people, but our current workforce, both early career and mid-career, to make sure that they have the skills needed to be vital employees that can grow and build a company and their products moving forward, so that companies who are attracted here stay here and the jobs that are created stay. I think the future of funding education is going to be tricky. I mean, I think if we look at some of the trends with the way young people are using technology to interact with each other and how the learning experience has changed over the last 5 to 10 years, I think we're absolutely going to see opportunities where we can increase and enhance education without necessarily building traditional brick and mortar schools. But I also think we always have to have those environments, and we need to continue to focus on those: safety of students, the vitality of the environment, food and the quality of food and the nutrition of food. All those things are going to help set up social and learning and nutritional skills that will lead to long, productive lives. And I think that we're going to have a better Kansas society tomorrow if we do focus on our schools. How we're going to fund it and how we're going to pay for it is a totally different issue. Obviously, we currently have a tax model that is not really working. We have state budget deficits, and we have other problems that we're trying to address. I think a natural knee-jerk reaction is to cut educational funding and or to limit the school development and growth of individual districts, but I don't think that's the right solution. I think what we need to do is instead look at the current school setup, the future needs of our schools and the future setup of those schools, and try to start now to go down a path where we can hit better efficiencies with the money we spend on education. I also think, frankly, we need to address some of the way that teachers are compensated and other educational professionals. We're losing too many quality people because they know that their quality and their intelligence can be applied elsewhere where maybe the money's better, and I do think school suffers for that. So I think we need to take a look at those things as well as human resources, I think we need to look at those things like human resources policies to make sure that we're doing the right thing again, so that the growth of Kansas schools is in the right direction. It sounds really cliche, but I have a 4-year-old daughter. When I became a father, I think it really changed my mentalities and my approach to a lot of things in life. I've always been someone who thought I had great ideas and thought maybe I could help improve situations and scenarios. But with a daughter about to start school, I've realized that sort of the future of my family and the future of my own heritage, if you will, is now. And I need to get involved and make a difference. And that really did motivate me to run. I also think that the woman, Joanne Potterhoff, who currently represents the 83rd District, she's done a wonderful job of serving our community for 26 years. And she's been a great citizen to do that. But I think the time is now for change. I think we have a lot of problems in Kansas that the legislators are not really doing enough to address. And I think just bringing new, fresh ideas and fresh perspective can make a difference with the future of Kansas. Now, I don't think you should change for the sake of changing. I believe I have honest ideas and great ideas. I think that I have the right energy, and as a moderate, I think I can work across the aisle to find solutions that will benefit our state. But I do think that that motivated me as well, is to get a fresh perspective in Topeka. I think what I'd like to do, if elected, is learn how to work across the aisle. I think there's a lot of name calling, and I think there's a lot of labels that are tossed around in politics today, not just here in Kansas, but nationally. And I think that that's disruptive to the process. I think what we need to instead do is look at people for their ideas, not their party labels, and find ways that we can all work together towards solutions that are common sense based, that are moderate, and that are achievable. I think when we get in trouble is when we become too partisan, and when we say, well, we're going to go over here now because this is what our party says we should do. I think instead we should sit down and say, these are the solutions we all think we can reach, and these are the ways that we're going to get to those solutions. My parents are both public school educators. My mother was a teacher her entire career, and my father taught and then was later a principal. I have aunts and uncles who are teachers. My younger brother's a teacher. I had a grandmother who was a teacher, so education is kind of my family business. And I absolutely think that public schools are the best way to go. I mean, certainly there's great private schools out there as well, but I think when you can have a public environment that's approachable and open to all students, you get more diversity, you get better thinking, and you get better results. And I think the society as a whole benefits when our public schools are strong and when we don't focus on developing private schools. That being said, as I mentioned earlier, I do think that there's certainly an opportunity to look at ways to develop our public school systems that are maybe more progressive in ways that sort of advance the idea of education and learning and how it's done. there's certainly been good evidence in the last few years to show that some students react better, respond better, and learn better when they aren't in a traditional classroom for 6 or 7 hours a day, when they are able to learn on their own timetable, learn things that really do interest them, and that when it's all said and done, they're more productive members of society, and even entering collegiate environments and workforces, they're more likely to succeed once they get onto that next step. I absolutely intend to send our daughter Ava to a public school. She'll go to College Hill Elementary, and then from there it'll depend. We've looked at the magnet schools and certainly are not opposed to those environments as well. I think there's a lot of great public school opportunities here in Wichita for our daughter, and I absolutely intend to take advantage of those for her education.